Have you ever heard of a gorilla that could drive a car, make jokes, know over 1,000 words, and even take care of a pet cat? What if I told you that this gorilla had fascinating things to say about death, and even had an answer regarding what happens after it? But beyond all that, before he passed away, he had a message that he conveyed to the whole world in sign language, which will amaze and send shivers down your spine when you hear it. On July 4th, 1970, a gorilla born at the San Francisco Zoo was very different from all other gorillas and indeed from all animals. This gorilla resembled humans not only physically but also mentally and emotionally. Koko could communicate with humans through sign language, express her emotional world, and articulate her feelings clearly. She could easily convey all kinds of emotions, from anger to love, from sadness to joy, and she expressed herself with a human-like consciousness. Koko also had some peculiar obsessions. For example, she had a fascination with nipples. Koko, who saw herself as a queen, was a gorilla capable of making jokes, driving a car, and even creating new words. She had many pets and formed strong bonds with them. Additionally, she used thought-provoking expressions about death and had one of the highest IQs among animals. Tests determined that her IQ was between 70 and 90. According to data, the average IQ is around 90, while Japan is known to have the highest average IQ at 106. As a gorilla, Koko's IQ was between 70 and 90. Before she died, Koko left a chilling message to the world, as if she had a deep knowledge of human history. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Koko was born on July 4th in a zoo in California. Her childhood was far from typical for other gorillas. It was a challenging journey. In her early months, Koko suffered from a life-threatening illness and was the 50th captive gorilla born in the zoo. Due to her illness, she spent her infancy without her mother, and a caretaker was assigned to look after her until her treatment was completed. When Koko was finally reunited with her mother rejected her, refusing to acknowledge her as her own offspring. This left Koko abandoned and alone in a massive cage filled with unfamiliar gorillas. One day, a young female student wanted to take Koko under her wing. Penny was a psychology student and became Koko's caretaker and tutor. She aimed to teach Koko as part of her doctoral research. Penny first started working on teaching her sign language and administered various intelligence tests, which Koko surprisingly passed with ease. The fact that she learned sign language so quickly demonstrated her high mental capacity. Koko had an extensive vocabulary of 3,000 words. Koko, look, there are stars. Can you find the eyes in this picture? Right, those are the eyes. She could express 1,000 words in sign language and understand an additional 2,000. In other words, she could comprehend abstract concepts like a human child and correctly understand abstract terms such as good, bad, fake, and real, as well as nouns, verbs, and adjectives. The first word she learned was queen, because Koko saw herself as a queen. When she referred to herself, she used the word queen instead of her name. Koko could not only learn what she had been taught, but she could also invent new words for herself. For example, no one had ever taught her the meaning of the word ring, but she combined the words finger and bracelet to create the term finger bracelet for herself. Koko had a remarkable sense of humor and constantly played both verbal and physical pranks on people. Once, she pulled Penny's hair and then signed sorry while laughing. She was like a mischievous human child. Her ability to joke indicated that she possessed a theory of mind, the understanding that others have thoughts, emotions, and perspectives different from one's own. This is an example of a verbal joke Koko made to Penny. Me, Kirill, I'll tell you, you want to know who I am? Penny is a human. Theory of mind is the ability of a person to understand the emotions, intentions, beliefs, and mental states of others, which is generally true for humans. This can be defined as empathy. Koko also had this ability and was able to express her humor because of it. This was a unique human ability, and Koko was indeed much more than a monkey. Koko could even drive a car. These abilities showcased her extraordinary intelligence and human-like characteristics. Besides her remarkable features, Koko also had a strange obsession. She had a fascination with nipples, whether male or female. Koko wanted to see people's nipples and sometimes touch them. In 2005, 3 female caregivers who were assigned to care for and educate Koko filed a lawsuit, claiming that they were forced to fulfill her requests. Koko communicated these requests to them using sign language. Gorilla experts stated that other gorillas did not exhibit a nipple obsession like Koko. The most exciting moments in Koko's life are now beginning. Initially known only by Penny and her small circle, Koko suddenly became recognized by millions of people. Koko's mirror selfie is still world famous today. She appeared on the cover of National Geographic magazine, and that day, Koko became famous worldwide. Many celebrities, including Leonardo DiCaprio, visited her just to meet her. The famous comedian Robin Williams also met Koko, and they formed a close bond. However, Koko's concept of friendship was quite unique. By the age of 19, Koko had accomplished something that most other gorillas couldn't. She passed a test of self-recognition. Normally, if a gorilla sees itself in a mirror, it doesn't realize it's looking at its own reflection. Instead, it perceives the image as another gorilla. But Koko immediately recognized herself and was often seen examining her reflection. This was a crucial sign of her extraordinary self-awareness. Koko possessed truly astonishing self-awareness, which was quite rare for an ape. She loved watching movies, and her favorite film was an Italian production called Tea with Mussolini. Every time she watched the saddest scene in the movie, where the child character says goodbye to his family, Koko would turn away to avoid becoming upset. This was another example of how deep Koko's emotional world was and how capable she was of empathy. Koko was so impressed by the movie Jurassic Park, which featured dinosaurs, that she even began to approach her own dinosaur toys with fear. This once again revealed the depth of Koko's emotional intelligence and how she perceived the world around her. One Christmas night, Koko told Penny that she wanted a kitten. Initially, Penny was concerned that Koko might accidentally harm the kitten, so she gave her a plush toy monkey instead. However, Koko immediately realized it wasn't a real kitten. She threw it aside and expressed sadness using sign language while insisting on a real cat. Eventually, Koko was allowed to choose a kitten from a litter of abandoned ones. She picked the smallest one and named it All Ball because she thought it looked like a tiny ball. Koko treated All Ball as if it were her own baby. She even attempted to nurse it. Despite her massive size, Koko was incredibly gentle with All Ball, always careful not to hurt it. She adored All Ball and formed an intense emotional bond. But one day, tragedy struck. All Ball was hit by a car and killed. When Koko was informed about the accident, she reacted with deep sorrow. She made signs indicating sadness, furrowed her brows, and used words like sad and bad to express her grief. I went in right away and said, "Koko, something's happened to your kitty, and he won't be here anymore. You know, the cat has died." Following All Ball's death, Penny noticed that Koko emitted sounds similar to human crying for several days. She was mourning the loss of her beloved companion. A photograph of Koko with All Ball later appeared on the cover of National Geographic. After All Ball's passing, Koko had several more cats. Inspired by Koko's love for kittens, Penny wrote a book called Koko's Kitten. One day, one of Koko's caretakers showed her a skeleton and asked, "Is this alive or dead?" Koko signed dead. The caretaker then asked, "Where do dead gorillas go?" Koko calmly signed, "A comfortable hole." After signing this, Koko blew a farewell kiss. Just a few days later, on a morning in June 2018, Koko passed away in her sleep at the age of 46. And now, here is the chilling message Koko left for all of humanity before she died. Please don't forget to like the video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to the channel. Also press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.